I haven't read comments in a while, but I read a few today. I haven't checked emails in a while. But you know what? Man, the amount of people that don't believe, you know, like the people that are hired to pretend that they don't believe, there's that group. There's people that are hired that just don't know any better, so therefore they absolutely just don't. The mind just can't open up. You can't open it. You can't open your mind. Oh well. Some people are afraid to open their mind because if they do, they're going to invite demons in, not knowing that the demon's the one keeping them from opening up their mind. Well, who sent the strong delusion? God did. Who did that delusion work on? Me. Man, I'm gonna have a lot of people asking me like, Robin, is there anything I can do for you? Are you good? Anything? Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Look, Robin, I'm sorry about being a troll on you too. I didn't know it. It's fine. It's fine. Just get over there. Get back to the land. All right. I can't wait to have my favorite land tiller. It includes like cutting the grass and things of that nature. I have a few top candidates. Scotty Alpine's my main one. But I have other ones that don't have faces. They'll have faces. When after I graduate. Has anybody seen Lefty? Hey Lefty, where you been? You're awfully quiet. I have other people in mind. There's others. There's a few land tillers. I know it's all. It's all a delusion. Look, ain't nothing gonna happen this year, next year. I mean, it's just the way things are going. What the hell is that doing there? So it's an odd place for a tombstone, huh? It's what, they didn't have any room inside of the graveyard. It's messed up. Or maybe they stopped paying the rent and they picked it up and just put it outside of the fence. I just think about it. When the rapture happens, all of those graves are going to open up and people are going to hop out and they're going to be like, and then skin's going to grow on them because they're dry bones. And then the flesh is going to come about and then God's going to breathe air into them. Look, I actually believed it one time, so yes, I can make fun of you if you still believe that. I can. Because I did it before. Because that's how I thought. And then I realized more that it's not what's going to happen. Look, I say a lot of things that I know is going to happen. And those things that I know is going to happen are those same things that the majority of the people don't believe is going to happen. And that's perfect. It's so perfect because, there's that 21 days of Daniel, it's coming up. You know Steve Fletcher, the mouthpiece for the elite? Hey, Steve. He is trying to convince people that the 21 days have already started because Donald Trump is... Well, no, he didn't say that. I'm saying that. But I forget what reason, because I think Israel has... I don't know, it's something over in the Middle East there, one of those countries. I think it's Israel. They have 21 days to get their government in line, and the deadline is December 11th at midnight, which means 12/12 is the next day. We all know about Steve Fletcher's sign 12/12/2012 at 12 at midnight and up on his roof. It's really Stephen James, the Sean's sign that he allowed him to, like have or something, because he has the bigger channel, and that's the whole purpose of it. But there's a 21-day period that Trump's being withheld. Netanyahu is like, they're getting ready to kick him out. There's two witnesses, one representing America, one representing Israel. Israel and America are those two witnesses that get destroyed on TV. And then Steve James is playing the two witnesses in one character. But the 12/12 sign, it's coming up to the 7th year. This is going to be 7 years. So you know how they play out that 7-year tribulation period? So when 12/12 comes around, and 12/9 really, 12/9, 12/10, and then he's saying that the rapture is going to happen 12/12. And Steve, the other one's telling you that 12/12 means Christ manifest, which means, you know what's going to happen then, right? Steve's going to manifest. But 21 days from there, that brings you into January 2nd into the 3rd. All right, look, here's the scenario, right? Daniel, there's no way in hell that the 21 days are right now, because the truth is still up and there's nothing to pray for. Nothing has changed worldwide. It's not like when something changes drastically, it's time for praying, and it's time for the 21 days to take place as he's being held up. Remember, he's being held up for 21 days. He doesn't eat any pleasant thing until 3 whole weeks is fulfilled. If the 12/12 sign happens on 12/12 midnight, and a rapture happens, we start hearing about people disappearing, then, and the truth is shut down by 12/12, because the 9th is the signing, and then it's 3 days of praying 3 times a day, and then it's because it's signed. It's the signing is there. That's the day that YouTube has midnight in the 9th, is when that goes into effect, where if you don't have a channel that they can make money off you with commercials and you're just getting the axe, they're going to chop your head off because you can't talk anymore. It's equivalent to having your head chopped off. Spiritually, of course, because you can't speak. It's like the same thing getting nailed to a cross, same thing as getting crucified, same thing as taking your body and laying it to rest, because there's nothing you can do. So if that sign happens that way on 12/12, then that would mean that those 21 days of Daniel, it starts when you get shut down. So if you get shut down, if your channel gets shut down on 12/9 midnight, or anybody else's, then you know that that's the beginning of the 21 days of being withheld. Once you're being withheld because the truth, the Prince of Persia is keeping the truth away, then you know that, well, you're not eating anything pleasant, meaning the Word of God. That's the first, this is why it's the first 21 days. And then the second 21 comes after that. But let's just entertain the idea that the first 21 days, that it's 21 days altogether. And then the sun drops down on the 18th day. And then it rises back up on the 21st full day. Well, then that would lead you into the 18th day being New Year's Eve, midnight, and then the first, and then the second, and then the third, midnight. What day is that? New Year's Eve is the first, so it's Wednesday, and then the second, and the third, Friday. Third is Friday night. Yeah, Friday night into Saturday. Some people say the Sabbath is Saturday, some say it's Sunday, some say it's Saturday evening, 6 o'clock into Sunday evening, which kind of makes more sense. I think that makes more sense. But then that would be that timeline where once the sun rises, that's it. That's the end of the 21-day movie that they are playing out. Because the 21-day movie is the deception. It's the grand old deception. 21 days of straight up, and you know, there were times before, like, I'm looking forward to it happening, but then when it's getting closer, it's like, I don't know, am I ready for this? And then multiple times of doing that, it's like, oh my God, will you just get going already? I am dying to see what we see and how it's just unfolding. Like, aren't you guys ready for this? You know, the ones that know that this is going to happen, the ones that have the pushing the, aren't you ready to push that button and just see the reaction of people? I am. The number one thing, well, wait a minute, let me just not jump ahead of myself. When that 21 days ends, I think that it's kind of going back and forth on this, that in between the 18th and the 21st full day is when the sun drops and it rises. The sun drops. This sky is rolled up like a scroll because they can do that. They can just push the button and make it peel back. Kleck will probably tell you he's going to roll back heaven or something. I have a feeling Jonathan Kleck is going to tell you that he's the one that made the sun just go away. That he's fed up with everybody. It was time to just put the sun to rest. But see, the thing is, rolling up heaven like a scroll really doesn't mean that the sky is going to roll up like a scroll. But they're going to play that out, so they have to show us that they're God. But this heaven rolling up like a scroll, well, to me that would mean that it is finished. When you have a book, a scroll, and you open it up and you read it like a Bible, you read it, and then when you roll it up like a scroll, it means you're done reading it. It's finished. The mystery's done. So when that sky rolls up open like a scroll, it's because our original sun, our original stars, original moon, I don't even know if we have an original. I don't know. Do you know? They know. They're laughing at me now like, man, only if he knew. Wait a minute, he does. How did he know? And then the other one's like, you don't know shit, Rob. You're delusional. And then other people are like, well, maybe he does know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. How would he know? And other people are like, is he an agent? A YouTube agent? It's a damn good one if he is. Why? Well, wait a minute. What would be his motive if he was? I don't feel like he's lying to me. He could be lying, but I don't know. What if he's just lying about not being an agent? He's really a CIA agent because his brother-in-law is one over in Guam. Guam's going to get bombed soon, along with the other bombs going to happen. No. Maybe he's just telling the truth, and it's so rare that it's like, who tells the truth anymore these days? Tell you what, though, I give you guys a lot of material to try to find that out day in and day out. If you can't figure out that I'm telling the truth, or if you think I'm lying about anything by now and you've been watching for a while, if you can't tell, you're either paid to not tell because you can tell, or you need to put the brakes on, like that guy there. Because if you think you're just allowing those little demonic forces to enter into your chamber, and you allow it to inject you with a negative influence, and then you roll with that thought, and then you go out throughout your day, and you just don't trust anything. But yeah, I've given a lot of people plenty of time to try to figure out, am I lying or not? And at one point in the beginning, within a year after that, I really tried to convince people that I wasn't. Even within this year, I was trying to convince, because Stephen James, right, he kept making these videos about me, calling me a liar. I couldn't, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what, this guy seems extremely intelligent, but you don't have discernment if you're calling me a liar. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, clown? And then I realized, oh, duh. Did you ever hear WWF wrestlers? I remember when I tried telling my kid that they were all, it was fake. I remember he was like 7 years old. He's like, no, they're not. I'm like, yeah, bud, they're fake. Come on. Then I started to pick up on the things. I mean, what do you want? What do you expect me to do? I'm waking up now. I'm becoming like one. I'm becoming like you, just without the sin. I can see what you guys are doing, and I know it's prolonged. You hire people to say discouraging things. They try to. They try to do that in the comment section. The funny thing is, nobody even has to read the comment section, but they try so hard. Because I remember before, they would make so many videos about me, and then I don't know if they still are. Who knows? But that's an honor, right? And then to be a nobody, like Glenn over there, Glenn Nobody, you got to stop calling yourself a nobody. You're somebody, Glenn. Look, Steve, can you give him a bonus on his check this week? He's running tight on things. So for me to be a nobody, I got a whole lot of nobodies commenting on my channel. Like, you must be wasting your time. I got all these people commenting on my channel, and I'm a nobody. Well, it makes you a nobody too. And it makes you you're wasting your life watching my channel, watching my videos every day. But I know this. There's certain individuals that are hired to do this. And I've already picked them apart. I've given them plenty of attention. I've given you guys way more attention than any YouTuber in the history of YouTube. I've given my lost sheep so much attention. And I just want you guys to know this. I give you attention because I can see where you're at. You're lost. You're lost. But then others, I also know this. You are not lost at all. You're wide awake. You know the truth. But you have a job to do. You have to stick with your job until it's 100% no lying. Then you don't have to control people like myself. You don't have to try to convince my subs that have eyes to see. You can't do anything like that once that happens. So the ones that do know the truth and you pretend you don't, well, that's a strong case of the SJDs. There are multiple SJDs out there. You know when it's time to repent, when it's 100% no lying, when the decree is signed and the writing is on the wall. Because here's the thing, when the writing's on the wall, December 9th, and the decree is getting ready to be signed, the decree is going to be signed because Darius takes over, and Kleck's job is finished, 100% no lying. He did his job to get rid of the lion, and then Steve takes over. Steve is Darius. And Darius, it's going to please him to set over him 120 princes, kings and princes, I think, over the realm, the land, and people like Lefty, Derek from A Glop of Truth, Jerry from A Light of Truth, Maddie Netanyahu. I tell you guys, oh man, you're seeing that. You can see what I'm showing you because you know who your boss is. Now, you can also see that he's getting ready to put these 120 princes in place, and he's looking to put like this specific individual that resembles Daniel in many ways in charge of the whole province of Babylon. And the greatest thing about this is that I know it's true, Steve knows it's true, and so do you guys. The subs that don't know, look, I don't hold anything against you for not believing me, because there's going to come a time where you do, and that's fine, because I know that I can prove the truth in due time. I'm not telling you I'm going to be sitting up on some throne and have people bow down to me and worship me all the time. Just the first day. When the harpazo happens and we're all gathered together, because Steve is gathering the 144. I think it's only going to be 144 people. Truly do. It's too much to find 144,000 of us. I don't think that there's that many. I think it's 144 people, and the Lamb. All right, because the Lamb has 12 stars, and those 12 stars, those 12 commandos, they have 12 more agents, lieutenants, and so forth and so on. And the idea is to gather up the 144 because they need to be put in charge. And then once that happens, there's the remnant that are frightened and give glory to God. The 7,000 men that are going to be slain. They're all going to be there. It's going to be like this big room, right? And there's going to be a throne up there, and there's going to be 144 people. And then there's going to be these other people that are going to see. And then they're going to bow down and worship before our feet. Ain't that something? Nah, they're not really going to do that. It's not really going to happen like that. But there is a time where the 144 do get rounded up. And it's because they get harpazoed up out of here. Harpazoed up out of this slavery. I know my works follow me, and I know that that is true, and it will happen. So for my regular subs, like my regular people, the ones that have really good hearts, and you're looking for the truth, and you still have, it's a natural feeling to kind of doubt some of the things they say because you haven't seen it. But it's also natural to kind of not doubt the things I say, because you've seen some things that there's a reason why you're still watching my channel. There's a reason why you still clicked on this video and pushed play when you could have just slid it along like, no, I don't feel like watching it anymore. He talks too long. So if the 21 days is starting for real on 12/12, well then that means that September 11th, December 11th will be second 9/11 right here in Philadelphia. On Wednesday in the midst of the week, December 11th. That's when it would be. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's right. That's Christmas. I mean, what? No, not Christmas. Christmas is the 25th. That's Wednesday. 2 weeks beforehand. 18th, and then the 11th. I'm thinking Thanksgiving and the next day. But that would mean that the second 9/11 would happen in the middle of the week, where Jonathan Clegg is going to cause the prayers to cease for the overspread and abomination of desolation to make it desolate. Even though it's really God who's doing it. And then so 21 days starts with the vision of that I see. Just complete, just boom, right? And then there's 3 days of darkness because of the decrees signed and everything. And then they cut off my channel for whatever reason. They can just say they'll tell me like I have a problem with our phone services in Philadelphia and the Comcast, the internet. That's going to take place. The phone gets cut off. You can't get online. And then so the war that would kickstart the war. It might take 3 days of getting the war together to start and declare World War III, because World War III is the 21 days of Daniel. I feel like it is, because it has to be a major catastrophe of a war. But where does the wrath of God fit into all this 21 days? I think it fits in at the last 7, possibly 10, which means the last 7 days of the 21 would be, well, maybe it would be the last 7 days, the last 10 days, which would go into the 11th day. All right. Well, if you don't want to, sorry, you got to pay attention immediately. If it goes from the 11th day and it's 10 days, then it would be the 7 bowls of wrath, and then the last 3 days are just complete blackout darkness. But that is the way it's going to be. There is a 7-day period at the end. There is 3 days of the sun disappearing and then supposedly rising up, but the rising of the sun is rolling up heaven like a scroll, turning off all the gadgets and stuff that causes this smoke screen here. And then our original sky and our sun opens up. I love the fact that that's so like even my brother says it. Like when I talk about that, it's just way too. It's like you have lost your mind, Robin. I know, I hear you. And when it happens, who lost their mind? You did, because your mind's going to be blown. That would mean that there's 11 days of everything, the major war just starting, and then God's wrath, everything. It's going to be so great to see this. But if that's not the case, and that's not the real 21 days of the end of Daniel, because the way I feel like it's happening is the 21 days starts first of truth shutdown. It's the truth being shut down, and then Michael stands up. because it's it's a 21-day holdup, and then Michael stands up, and my people shall be delivered at that time. However, it's going to take more time, because if none of the events, if none of the war, none of the bomb, nothing happens till New Year's Eve morning day, if nothing happens until then it's going on to the 21st of January into the 24th, where the sun goes down, and it goes back up 24th midnight, when it's midnight, when God will, well, first of all, they're making it seem like at noon the sun's going to just black out, which could possibly be the bombing at noon. New Year's Day, okay, New Year's Day, when time's up at noon, tick tick, boom, bombs, sky dark, no sun. But if it doesn't happen that way, the bombing's happening, then they start on New Year's Day, 12/12. Noon. At noon, exactly. 12/12. Noon. But 12/12 isn't noon, Robin. 12/12 is 12/12. It's 12 minutes past 12, and noon is noon. No, 12/12 is the big hand is up at the 12, and the little hand is up at the 12. It's 12/12. The sun has to go dark at noon. The sun will disappear at noon at some specific point in time, but the bombs will happen at noon also, in all likelihood. Or maybe at 12, who knows. And then there's that first, it's just going to be 21 days of listening to Kleck. He'll probably get up every single day. Oh my God, I'm going to be so disgusted. When I can't get up on YouTube and do anything, I don't know how it's going to work, but I won't be able to say, and maybe I can comment, but it doesn't matter. It's not the same. I can't get up and do a video and show hundreds of people, probably thousands, but whatever. I'll just go with my view count. Hundreds of people getting information on what I think is happening. And then, so because that's going to happen that way, the holdup, then they'll wait, and then they'll start dropping the bombs New Year's Day to get their 2020 vision started. And it's the 21 days of Daniel, the for real one, because you're going to remember all these events. You can't possibly forget, anybody that's watched my channel, because I constantly talk about every day. Everything that's still in my mind, I'll piggyback from yesterday, and then that would be the beginning of the major absolute, just complete cartwheels, flipping, and hallelujah, praising, and jumping up and down, seeing all this destruction. Can't wait. And then that sun goes down. Look, the sun's going away for 3 days. Just deal with it. It is. And it'll come